Hello, this is David Dean, and today we are doing a deep dive into constructor bases. And I get asked a lot, because I love doing trap builds and soloing with constructors, what is the best constructor out there? Which of course is too generic of a question to really answer in Fortnite Save the World most of the times. This video is focusing on the best constructor's base. Not who has the best decoy or the best bull rush, but focusing on the constructor's base that you see right out over here that is used to protect objectives. And actually now they've brought out heroes that whatever is protected by the constructor base can also do damage to Husk. And with the birthday llamas coming out, I have talked a lot about wanting the Machinist Harper, and people don't understand exactly why, so I'll be going through that. This is my first account where I have the Machinist Harper. Still want it for my second account. I've had no luck with the birthday llamas so far. Basically, and I wanted to get into this, it all comes down to size. Yes, size matters. But in this case, size is inversely proportional to the damage the base is doing. And I wanted to show that off right here. This is the Harper base. It only goes out 4 tiles at max, but that is not a square box that it goes out. Like here, it goes out 1 tile, 2 tile, 3 tile, 4 tile. But that is only 2 diagonal tiles away from the base. So you have to be really careful on how you use the Harper base. But the Harper, Machinist Harper, she has perks. First of all, trap damage is increased by 30% for everything covered by the base. The trap reload is increased by 20%, so now the traps are going off faster, doing more damage, and even your non-damage traps like the wall launcher and floor launchers are going off more. And then for every trap in the zone, it increases the durability by 25%. And we'll talk more about trap durability later. Also, she has electric floors. Everything walking across her floors is taking electrical damage. And then if you are lucky enough to have the Heavybase Kyle, he has a perk you can put in tactical. Base generates energy when enemies are killed within the area affected by the base. After 30 kills, base emits an explosion that knocks Husk back and deals damage in a 3-tile radius. Except for when it's Heavy Kyle. If Heavy Kyle is your main, it is 5 tiles. And we'll be talking about that. But yeah, so it goes out 4 tiles. And that's where it'll be collecting basically the spirits of all the Husks that die. But the Nova explosion only goes out 3 tiles, which works out pretty good for the Harper. So for the Harper, anything in her trap tunnel is just taking massive damage. Nova explosion damage, electric floor damage, increased trap damage, increased traps going off faster. So for Harper, mainly on her, I really don't like using her for the objective. I like using her when there's another constructor in the mission, and he can use his base to protect the objective. And then I use the Harper base for doing the trap tunnel, which just now does insane amounts of damage with her trap tunnels with this base on it. Now the rest of this going out is showing the metal is how far the Heavybase constructor goes out. It goes out 6 tiles. And Heavybase is kind of that great middle ground between the base focused constructors, where it has a much larger area than the Harper one. He does get increased trap reload speed, so those traps are going off faster. But he does not get increased trap damage, which the Harper has, or increased trap duration, which really is not a big deal unless you're doing the Storm Shield defenses solo. Otherwise, usually trap durability is fine. And then finally, this last tile out here where it is the stone tile, that is how far the Megabase and the Powerbase constructors go out. And like the Powerbase knocks is what the normal one is. There is a Powerbase Kyle, same thing, different skin. That is defense focused. It doesn't have electric floors. It doesn't have anything for doing damage unless the husk are pounding on your walls. Then some of the damage is reflected back onto the husk. But Powerbase is great. I used him all the way through Stonewood, Plankerton, and even into Canny Valley. And he has this big, huge base that can cover a large area for great defense. But he's not doing hardly any damage with it. Also, Megabase, the Mythic Constructor, goes out this far, 7 tiles. And he does have the electric floors. So walking through this entire thing, the husk would be taking damage from those electric floors, which is just great. Also on that, there is, and this one is probably the best support bonus in the game for general use, and Shuriken Master Sarah, where you get increase all ability damage by 20%. So this is going to increase your electric floors. It's also going to increase damage from the Nova explosion from the Heavybase. You can also use the Outlander Reclaimer. He also increases electric floors, not as much as Sarah does. And he actually does more damage with the Nova Blast from the Heavybase. So, just so you can get the maximum amount of damage out there. But this is just showing kind of the area effect. And I wanted to go down there and just show a little bit more with the trap tunnel, because unfortunately Harper really does just a small amount of area. And if you were to do, like I like doing, double wall launchers with timeout rooms, so if we were to put that down 1 tile away from the base. So we got the base here, 1 tile, and the roofs at the end of it. This roof not affected, this roof not affected, those walls not affected. So right there, you are losing out on having that base protection and everything else. So yeah, basically Harper is great for very small areas for trap tunnel focus. And just massive, massive damage in that area. And just to show off, basically I built down here the structure everybody builds for repair the shelter and evacuate the shelter. So put it down in the very middle of the ceiling, and you go down here, and it's not even, let's see, it gets the entire structure coming down, but it goes out only 1 floor tile from the very base of the objective, and doesn't even cover the 45s if you were to use it. So since her main thing is doing damage with increase on traps, you could put 1 floor trap down. That's it. And maybe some wall traps back here, like wall darts or something. But if you're using Heavybase, then Heavybase, you could be out here putting down ceiling traps that are going off 20% faster. You get the electric floors down here. Up to here and here, you would get the Nova effect exploding and doing damage. And then once again, Powerbase and Megabase, you would even be able to take your traps and trap tunnels out further. Now, one thing on this, and one thing you learn just playing around, is you can kind of find ways to get this to go out further. And a lot of times I will run over to other people who have built this up, and I will put in steps here for 2 reasons. It allows me to run over here and get up here, but now the base is extending out to these end pieces 45s, just making that base go out a little bit further by putting in basically a bridge for the base to get over there. So just getting into that, and then we'll hop out of this mission and look at the heroes just a little bit more and how to set them up on your squad bonuses. But definitely ask me all the questions you have with this. So when it comes to the question of what is the best base constructor, if you are doing trap tunnels over a small area, Harper is amazing. Absolutely putting out the largest amount of damage. But if you're worried about covering an objective, then I would definitely say you want to have the Heavybase constructor. And one thing I want to make sure I get on this, and another reason I really wanted the Machinist Harper, is to get it in here. And I wanted to point this out. As I said, this is Powerbase Kyle, same thing as Powerbase Nox. I just have a different skin since I had the founder package on here. This gives you your structures attached to base regenerate 5% of their max health every 10 seconds. Two reasons to use this in this slot. First of all, there's hardly anything good for a constructor to have in the technical slot in the entire game. There is just so few heroes that have any perk to help them out in the tactical slot. And this one repairs the base, which is a great thing to have. This is my normal setup when I am doing regular missions in the game. And this is the one I believe that ends up being the best for defending the objective, still putting out a ton of damage with the base. Usually I will put my base halfway between the objective and the trap tunnels just to max it out. Once again, we have Sarah here with 20% ability damage increase. Now, one thing Machinist Harper has that's really great for me for soloing Storm Shield defenses is trap increased durability by 25%. In normal missions, I hardly ever have traps run out of durability. It's just not an issue for me, and it shouldn't be a problem for you either. So most of the time you won't need to run this. Also, if you are using Sarah with that extra 20% damage, Husk are dying 20% faster, and therefore just less reason you need to have durability. But I do really need her. It's absolutely critical in soloing Storm Shield defenses, mainly at the end, like 8 through 10. Because if you watch my videos, my traps are running out in those videos. And I have to make my trap tunnels really long because I know the beginning traps will run out. And Storm Shield defense number 9, I think I'll get one wave going through one set of trap tunnels that has over 1,000 husks coming at it. And Storm Shield defense number 10, I will get 1,200 husks coming through one trap tunnel. And the traps just cannot hold up that long. So in that case, I will be using Machinist Harper, and to be successful on the run, really kind of need her. And so that is the reason I want the Machinist Harper so bad. For best constructor, once again, overall running normal missions, I want the Heavybase constructor with either the Outlander Reclaimer or... I know I just clicked on her. I'm losing my mind. It's been a long week. There. All right. Ability damage. And then over here, having Powerbase so that he does the regeneration. But once again, Megabase, if you don't have Powerbase and you have Megabase, he is absolutely excellent. He does have the electric floors. His base just goes out one tile further than the Heavybase. And that's about it. Let me know your questions and comments about the constructors and what you think the best base is out there and how you use it. If you have any other better ways you think how to set up your squad bonuses, I really appreciate it. And I really want to thank my subscribers because they're the ones that make this channel really work with the good information you give to me in the comments. So take care and see you later.